Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore, Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties, your Monday market moment, the last Monday of June. We are almost done with the first half of the year. And we've been kind of talking about this in the industry. Are we getting closer to a buyer's market? So today, we're going to attempt to answer the question, are we now in a buyer's market? We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's look at the latest stats right now. Currently, we have 6,703 homes for sale throughout San Diego County. It's an increase of 55. Inventory keeps going up. Median list price, no change, $980,000. Also no change in average days on market, 49. We have 2260 pending sales right now. That's up 22. It's a good sign versus last week. No change in the median list price, $899. Average days on market, 34. Months of inventory actually ticked down a little bit. A couple weeks ago, it was 3.36. Now it's 3.35. So a little bit closer back to the 3-month mark. Here is the chart showing total actives, total pendings. You can see where we were just 2 weeks ago. We were below 6,000. Now we're well above 6,000 homes for sale. And the number of homes in escrow, about the same as it was 8 weeks ago. All right, how many homes came on the market last week? Actually, a decrease of 11 to 915. A little bit surprising, but maybe as we're getting closer to the 4th of July, fewer people are putting their homes on the market. Median list price, $945,000. New pendings actually went up by 404. Why is that? Well, interest rates actually have been coming down a little bit and staying that way. And so that's helped keep the number of people out there looking going up a little bit. So it's encouraging news. Median list price, $897,000. Average days on market, 31. New pendings listed within the last week, 19, and within the last 2 weeks, 131. So 5% of homes are selling in a week or less, 32% in 2 weeks or less. Last week, we saw 371 homes close escrow. It's an increase of 9 from the week before, with a median list price of an even $900,000, a little bit higher than it was the week prior. Median sales price, $918,500. That's also an increase, and look at the difference. So on the median, homes sold actually well above what they were listed for. Average days on market, 31. Least expensive sale was in Mount Laguna, $177,500. Encinitas had the most expensive sale, $7.3 million. Here's the chart showing new actives, new pendings, new closed sales. And the number of new pendings was up quite a bit. In fact, if you look at the last few weeks, it was the biggest jump we've seen in quite a while. Again, encouraging news for home sellers. Here's a chart showing median list price, median sales price. Definitely the biggest differential between the two numbers that we've seen in quite a while. Okay, Stephen Thomas came out with his most recent reports on housing, and he asked the question about being in a buyer's market. He thinks we are for a couple of reasons. I think we're actually in a transitionary market, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. But if you look at the active inventory right now, we're still climbing, and the trajectory is to probably peak out in October or maybe November. We'll have to see, depending on what interest rates do. If they keep coming down, maybe that will peak earlier. But we still have fewer homes for sale than we did before COVID, but we have 50% more homes than we did just a couple of years ago. Meanwhile, the demand, which is number of homes that close that are in escrow or go into escrow in the last 30 days, flatlining, basically. It's about the same. Although what we saw last week with the number of homes going into escrow will likely to increase that number if that stays consistent for us. But you can see the demand versus where it was before COVID, way lower. Expected market time, and this is why Stephen thinks that we're in a buyer's market, because it's taking way longer to sell a home now than it used to be, the expected market time. In fact, he said it's the highest recorded number since 2012. The expected time it takes to sell a home, even though still 5% of homes are selling in a week and 32% are selling in 2 weeks. Pricing right matters. All right, he also provided this information as a recap for the month of May. I like this information because it gives us a really good snapshot of what's going on out there. List price changes. 3% of people increased their homes. These are the closed sales for the month of May in San Diego. 71% didn't change their price. 26% of people lowered their price to get their home sold. In April, it was 23%. So 3% more people had to lower their price to successfully close escrow. This is a sold price versus list price analysis. 35% closed above the list price. So that's a pretty good number. Over a third of the homes are selling above list price. That makes me think we're not yet in a buyer's market. At least we weren't in May. I think we're in a transitionary market right now where people aren't able to get maybe what people would have gotten for the same home maybe a month or two ago. We're seeing prices ease a little bit, maybe 1%. We'll see. Closed at list price, 12%. 53% closed below list price. In April, it was 50%. So we don't know yet what June's numbers are. Will that be higher? So more homes are selling below list price than they had been. And finally, and this is a very telling sign, 22% of people pulled their home off the market. Unsuccessful sales. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they didn't take that job out of the area, or maybe they just couldn't get their home sold. But 22.1% of people pulled their homes off the market. That's an 11% increase. So more failed failed listings. That number is going up. We'll see what happens in June. But I think we're definitely in a transitionary market right now. If you're a buyer, you definitely have more options to choose from, which is beneficial. If you're a seller, you got to price your home right in order to get it sold. And we are seeing sales out there, so it's not like there's just nothing selling. Just got to be smart about it if you're looking to sell your home. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Happy 4th of July coming up in a few days. Hope you are going to enjoy some time with family and friends. I know I will. Look forward to seeing you next Monday in the next Monday Market Moment. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. Be glad to help any way I can. Have a great day, a great week, and a great holiday.